Welcome to Positive Energy with Crystals. My name is Hillary, and this is part of my monthly series where I work with a crystal for an entire month. I tell you what I learned, what I liked, what I didn't like, what my experience was, and just what I thought. So for October, I forgot what month it was, 2025, I carried this piece of petrified wood. Yes, I consider petrified wood a crystal. And it makes total sense because I've got this piece of wood here. It's wood that is petrified over hundreds of thousands of millions of years to become a stone. So it's taking something that's a very grounding plant and turning it into a very grounding, pretty crystal. So now, I've had these two pieces. Well, I have had this piece for a very, very long time. I'll get more into it here in a minute. And then my husband has had this piece for a long time. I bought this piece actually about a year ago. And I bought this piece several years ago with the plan to do a monthly video. But I wanted to do it during October. And I wanted to do that because I wanted to do more ancestral work. And I'll get to that here in a minute too. Ancestral or petrified wood is really good for ancestral work. And I really wanted to do in October, and I kept finding other crystals I needed to do, or I think one of you suggested a crystal one time, and I'm like, oh, I got to do that now. So I'm finally getting ready to do it, and I wish I had done it so long ago. But at the same time, I think the timing was perfect right now. Let's get into it. Before I go too much, let's get into the properties and stuff. So, petrified wood can help you connect with ancestors, especially ones who share your DNA, and it also helps with past life work. Now, I haven't done past life work, but this was so good for ancestral work. This was perfect. So, these two big pieces, like I said, we've had for a long time. This one here, my mom, I always remember it being in our house. My mom, I think, had it before she even met my dad. It's been around for a long time, and I've always loved it. It's kind of this perfect size to just kind of hold. Mostly sits on a shelf right now. It's a storage thing because I don't have space. Well, actually, right now it's next to a candle that I've been doing or lighting for some ancestral stuff. But it's usually stored away. But like I said, I don't ever remember there being a time or a house we lived in where this wasn't on display. And then at some point, she gave it to me, and I love it. It is so cool. And this piece, my husband has had for a long time, since he was a kid at least. And it's a really cool piece too. I don't know, you can just kind of, both of these pieces, well, and this one too, you can tell that they're pieces of wood. You know, this one has been cut and polished. These two are just raw. Just been around for a long time. This piece, I think over the years, it's kind of softened with as many people that just hold it and rub it. I don't know why I like rubbing it so much, but so these two pieces have been around for a long time. Now, the way I'm using these is this piece represents my side of the ancestors, and this piece represents my husband's side. And I've got my candle. It's like if you had pretend that piece is a candle. I got one on one side and one on the other, and then some other workings and stuff in front of it. So that's been great. And then, so I carried this piece, and now for a week now, I haven't had it with me, but I set it like in front of it. And to me, that kind of, I didn't at the time think about it, but you're like, here's my side of the family, here's his side of the family, and then it's kind of like a unity candle. The little heart one in the middle brings us together, and I love that. Now this piece, if you've watched my Finding the Fae when I did the Summer from Astaria Sins, the month where she did the Finding the Fae prompts, I put this in as a fair in my Fae altar. It's not really an altar. I keep it in a bag because I don't have room for an altar right now. But I keep this piece in there. Eventually, when I do have space, it will be on display on like a Fae altar type thing. But right now it's in a bag, which is kind of a bummer because it is such a cool piece. I love it. But that's where it has to be right now. And then this piece, I think this piece looks more crystal-like to me. And I don't think it's just because it's the heart. But anyway, so for November, I am going to keep the setup where the candle, the two bigger pieces, and then the heart there, like in the front of it. It's just, it feels right, and I love the way it feels. I don't light the candle every day. I just, when I feel like it needs lit, I've got some ancestral oil that I made. I put a little bit in there, and then I light the candle, and I pretty much keep it going all day, or all afternoon, whatever. But just having like this little space with these two, I don't know, it made me happy. And it's hard to explain. It felt comforting. And then adding this piece, now that I've, kept it with me all month, which I think was great. But also I think having it with the other pieces, and the symbolism of it, of the two families, and this being, us. I loved it. I still love it. I'm going to do this more. When I actually have a space, I can set up like an ancestral area. These two pieces will be on there, and probably this one too. But this piece, when I need it, I can go pick it up and carry it. Petrified Wood also helps with physical and emotional healing. I don't know so much about the physical part. I don't know. I don't know that, I'm trying to think of what all happened in October. I don't know that there was much physical healing went on. Emotional. Very much. From recent past videos, you should know by now that we've been on an emotional roller coaster with our dog's cancer diagnosis. We were sure we were going to lose her at the beginning of the month. I full on believed she wouldn't be here. And right now, she's laying beside me taking a nap. So, we stopped the chemo treatments and prepared for the day, you know. And having the Petrified Wood with me all the time made a huge difference, huge, in all the emotional stuff. Then she started feeling better and showing some improvements, which is added onto the roller coaster. And now the skin part, as soon as I'm done recording this video, I'm going to call the vet actually and get some advice. The skin part is starting to get bad, but we don't want to do the chemo treatments because that made everything else bad. And just, it's an emotional roller coaster. And the Petrified Wood was just, it's hard to explain. It was comforting and supportive, and just, it was there. And it, you know, I love my angel light, and I think I actually talk about this later in my notes, so maybe I shouldn't do it now, but anyway, I'm going to. My angel light is the hug during grief. You know, I've been wearing my angel light bracelet and I've got my angel light tumbled piece in my pocket all the time. But this was different. It was still that same hug, but it was different, and I think it's because of the ancestral stuff. I think it was a hug from it was like a hug from those that have passed. Grandparents, even my mom, and that was great. I needed that. Okay, Petrified Wood teaches us patience and gives stability. I honestly think I finally found the crystal that helps with my patience. It didn't cure my lack of patience, but it definitely helped a little. With emotions kind of stabilized and the craziness that kind of stabilized, just everything felt like not as big of a deal as it usually would, and that I could stay calmer about it and more patient about it and not worry about it as much. Even though I wanted information, I wanted things to happen faster, I wanted to know, I want a timeline on things. And with, you know, sickness, you don't have a timeline. You don't know when the medicine's gonna work, if it works, or, you know, when she starts to show signs that it's not working, how much longer she has. So it helped me realize to just kind of be patient and not focus on a timeline, and just kind of be in the moment kind of thing. It's grounding. Petrified Wood is definitely grounding. And it makes sense. It's a piece of petrified tree, and I find that walking through like a treed area is very grounding. It, you know, like when you're driving down the road and you've got the tree canopy, I love that feeling. And to me, it's just it's a very grounding feeling, and carrying this piece, it had that same effect. It was great. Petrified wood is calming and soothing. This was the main energy I felt from this crystal. And I think this goes along with the ancestral thing too. Like I was saying before, the soothing, when I was feeling the grief and stress with what was going on, and when it was trying to just overtake me, I felt like I was saying before, that I was getting a hug from my grandpa. He gave the best hugs. And it just, I always say, like with my angelite, that it feels like a hug of support when I'm dealing with grief or stress or whatever. But the petrified wood was, it was a familiar hug. Like a hug from somebody you recognized. A hug you've gotten before. And that was amazing. It was great. I didn't realize this would make me so emotional. This is getting old. Petrified wood helps you connect with nature in the middle of a city. I sort of experienced this, and I totally understand, like I was saying before, with the trees, it totally makes sense how it can help you connect with nature. Because it is nature. It's wood. It was turned into a rock, and then I brought it inside. And I don't live in a big city, but I live in a camper, and I feel cooped up quite a lot. Especially now that my dog has been sick, and I don't want to leave her. And so I feel like I live in a box. I'm always in a box. And when we do go outside, I let her sniff. I don't hurry her up at all. I just let her do her thing, and I take advantage of that time being outside. But because she doesn't want to go outside so much anymore, she just pretty much wants to sleep. Working with the petrified wood helped that cooped up feeling, the feeling of being in a box all the time. The cooler weather now has, you notice, I haven't taken an air conditioner break in 2 videos. This is the second video today that I'm recording, and we have not taken an air conditioner break once. It's very exciting. But during the day, it's been cool enough that I can have the door open, and that's helped a lot too. Just getting fresh air. Now, as weather gets colder, it's going to be too cold to do that, and it's going to be too cold to go out and let her sniff, and she's not going to want to go out and sniff. She's going to want to go do her thing and come in. So, this piece is not going, these 2 pieces are going to eventually have to go back into storage, just because they take up a lot of space on my counter that I don't have room for. But this piece is staying out, and it's going to be my reminder that grounding, supportive, nature feeling, connection. Petrified wood is good for meditation, and I can see that. I can't shut my mind off correctly to do meditation, so I don't really do much meditation. But I could see how it would help. Petrified wood is good for protection. I have a lot of protection crystals in my pocket right now. So I can't firmly say that it helped with protection. Um, but honestly, with the connection to ancestors, the connection to just uh, just the way it is and the way it feels, I could totally believe it. Um, like I said, I've got black tourmaline, quartz, amethyst, Apache tears. What else is in my pocket? I think that's pretty much it right now. But then, I've got protection crystals everywhere. Um, so I can't definitely say that it is that I can feel the protection, because I've got so much protection going on. Just because I felt that we needed it with, we're vulnerable. We're going through grief and stress, and so I amped up the protection, and I would say yes, it helps with protection. um, Health wise, now remember, follow your doctor recommendations, take your meds, do the things. Don't rely solely on crystals. Use crystals to enhance the medications, procedures, recommendations, all that. Um, and I've also said many times that I think you need to work with a crystal for more than a month for it to actually really help with health stuff, except for aquamarine when you're dealing with like allergies and sinus stuff. That one I know that one has worked. And I keep forgetting to look for a bracelet. I want a bracelet of aquamarine, but that's for another time. So I'm going to list the health stuff, but most of it I haven't. I don't know. I don't know if it helps health stuff, but it's supposed to be good for Alzheimer's, osteoporosis, and arthritis. Benefits immune system, joints, muscles, bones, feet, back, nervous system, and lungs. It's supposed to help you overcome obesity. It's supposed to help halt the aging process and help disturb sleep patterns, chronic fatigue symptoms, and genetic disorders. And it's also supposed to help recovery from serious illness. Now, I don't really know that I dealt with any of that this month, but I definitely wasn't focused on my health this month. Petrified Wood can help release what no longer serves you while retaining that which does. Yes. Part of the roller coaster process I've been on is that it's, how do I say this? I need to release, the anger part. The what could we have done different parts, and focus on the right now. She's with us right now. She's not gone. She's still with us. And yeah, she's itchy and almost bald and not quite her whole self, but she knows time. She knows when dinner time is. She knows when my husband's supposed to be home from work. She is sassy and bossy and dramatic and her normal personality is still there. So stop. I gotta release all the bad thoughts and really just focus on the good stuff. Petrified Wood is supposed to help counteract ageism in workplace and help others recognize wisdom and value of old age. I don't have anything to add to that one. I don't know. Petrified wood helps stabilize the environment. It's good for people living in old buildings, especially with structural problems. This actually could go with the stability part that we already talked about. I don't live in an old building, but I do live in a temporary place, not really meant to be permanent. The structure we live in wiggles and has wheels, and every time we set up something, a decoration outside, or my garden, it's meant to be temporary, to be able to be moved, and it's not a stable situation. Even the property we're on, it's between owners, and so we don't even have like a stable future for the property. So I've been feeling a little more stressed about it since we hit the 3-year mark, and now we've started year 4. But I was able to remember my priorities and tried focusing more on the fact that we do have a place to live that's our own space. And even though pretty much everything we own is in storage in multiple locations, I have felt more stable this month, sort of, to a point. There's only so much stability I can feel, especially when my dog gets up and shakes and it feels like everything's like it's an earthquake. Or one of us walks in and out of the door and the whole place shakes. So I definitely understand the stability of the environment, property. I totally get that. And I think that's been one of my favorite things about it. In conclusion, yes, petrified wood is a crystal. It is an amazing crystal. I don't know just exactly how to put into words what a good month this has been. October it sucked, but it also was good. And working with ancestors more was amazing. And I know I'm gonna keep doing it through November, and I think October, with everything that was going on, was the perfect time to start this and to work with petrified wood. And I think this year especially was the perfect year to do this. I am going to remember this. I'm going to, like I said, continue the ancestral work through November. But even after that, when I do need to finally put these away, this is staying out. It's a reminder that my ancestors are there, and sending hugs and support. This has been an emotional video. Let's move on. So for November, I decided I needed kind of another emotional support, gentle, supportive crystal. So I chose Moonstone. Now I've got some other little pieces that I'll share in later, but this is my favorite piece. This is the piece I'm carrying. It also has, as you can see, oh no, you can't see it because it's blurry. You can see there the black tourmaline that's running through it, which is my favorite protection crystal. So, would this be considered a tourmalinated moonstone? I don't know. Anyway, Moonstone. This is my favorite piece. This is also my biggest. Oh no, I've got some in storage that are bigger, but I think I remember now. Anyway, this is. I've had this piece for a long, long time. It's one of my first crystals, and I'm excited to work with it. And it's also, I can already. It's a very gentle crystal, and I needed that again. I decided it's got some flash. I don't know if you can see the flash right in there. Maybe not. I'll try to get better lighting for next month. Anyway, so I'm going to be working with Moonstone for November. But if you've got any questions about Petrified Wood or an experience with it, let me know. It is definitely one of my top favorites. I wish I had started working with it earlier, but at the same time, like I was saying, this is the perfect timing too. So if you have any questions or comments, put those down in the comments. And same with Moonstone. If you've got experience with Moonstone or questions, put those down in the comments, and I will try to make sure I add it to the Moonstone video. So I'm going to go take a break. I will see you guys next time.